Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Second Look Bible study, where a second look always takes you deeper into God's Word. My name is Jim Schaefer. This is actually part 2. For some reason, had internet problems. I'm not sure it's completely figured out, but we're going to do the best we can. Today, we are going to be looking at a very familiar story that takes place early in Solomon's reign. Now, God had given him a unique gift, a discerning heart to lead his people. Today's story shows that gift at work, not in politics or war, but in the desperate cries of two unnamed, unwed mothers. Now, most of you will know this story, but it serves to teach us a really valuable lesson. As we walk through this story, I want you to ask yourself, what is the significance of the mothers being unnamed? Go ahead and write your answers in the comments and feel free to share them with us. So we're going to talk about two unnamed mothers. As we stated, these two unnamed mothers are going to be involved in a difficult situation, to say the least. Let's take a look at the backstory of this particular tale. Two women lived in the lower streets of Jerusalem. Now, that at the very beginning tells us something very important. The lower streets. Now, in biblical times, most cities were built on the top of a hill, all right? And at the top of the hill would be where the palace would be. It would be where the royalty is, where the generals would reside. And as you moved down the hill, the people become less significant until you reach the lower section of the streets of Jerusalem. And that's where the individuals would be. They would be prostitutes, women with no husbands, no family advocates, and almost no standing in society. This lower streets represents the bottom of society, the forgotten, the unseen, and the unprotected. Well, as we are looking at this particular story, both of these unnamed women have given birth, and for a brief moment, their homes held the fragile hope of new life. Sorry, getting a little choked there. Now, one night, a tragedy struck. One woman awoke to find her child dead beside her. In her grief and confusion, she took the other woman's living baby and replaced her own lifeless son in his place. By morning, the room was filled with accusations and denial. With no one to defend them and no court that would normally hear their case, the two women climbed the steep path to the king's palace at the top of the hill. Now, they arrived before Solomon as unnamed, marginalized mothers, carrying their pain into a place where they never expected to stand. Yet their desperate plea became the moment when wisdom God had given Solomon shone the brightest. So let's take a minute to step right into that story. The courtroom is crowded, but silent. Two women stand before Solomon's throne. Both of them are weary. Both are trembling. Both are desperate. The first woman steps forward, her voice cracking. "My lord, this woman and I live in the same house. I gave birth, and 3 days later, she gave birth. But in the night, her child died. She switched our babies while I slept. When I awoke to nurse my son, I saw he was dead. But when I looked closely, I knew he was not the child I bore." The second woman interrupted, her voice sharp. "No, the living child is mine. The dead one is yours." The argument erupted again. Two voices, two stories, one child. And then Solomon raises his hand. Silence falls. "Bring me a sword." Gasps ripple through the room. A guard steps forward, blade gleaming. Solomon speaks calmly, his verse steady. "Divide the child in two. Give half to one woman and half to the other." The second woman nods, cold and unflinching. "He shall be neither mine nor yours. Divide him." But the first woman collapses, tears streaming down her face. "No, my lord, give her the living child, only do not kill him." Solomon's eyes soften. The truth is revealed, not by evidence, but by love. "Give the child to the first woman. She is his mother." A collective breath fills the room. The sword lowers. Justice is restored. And all Israel hears of the king's wisdom, recognizing that God himself has given him discernment. So, as I stated, we know this story pretty well. We've heard it before. We know the outcome, and it seems a little too simplistic. But what are some of the modern day applications we can learn from this particular story? Well, first of all, true love protects life. Think about that. True love protects life. The real mother chose her child's safety over winning the argument. Real love puts life and compassion first. The second application is wisdom looks deeper than words. Solomon listens beyond the shouting. Godly wisdom pays attention to motives and the heart, not just the surface story. And then thirdly, pain can twist judgment. The second woman's grief turns into a harmful choice because unhealed pain can lead us to hurt others. We need to understand that in this life, hurt people hurt people. And we need to be offering arms of love and compassion. The fourth application is this: God's wisdom brings clarity. When situations seem impossible, God can reveal truth in ways that human logic cannot. So as we look at this particular story and these applications, let's take a closer examination of this story. Two mothers before Solomon reminds us that God's wisdom is not abstract. It enters into the messiness of real human pain. Their unnamed lives become the canvas upon which God displays discernment and justice and compassion. Now, I asked at the very beginning of this lesson, what is the significance of both women being unnamed? What do you think? What did you write down? Let's look a little deeper. The women were unmarried. They were unimportant. The text tells us that they were prostitutes. In Israel, prostitutes had no legal standing. They had no male advocate. They were considered ritually unclean, and they were socially invisible. Think about this. If Solomon can deliver justice for them, then he can deliver justice for anyone. They were without husbands. outcasts in society. Rabbis would often use this particular account to show that a righteous king listens even to the most marginalized people. And it's designed to remind us that God cares for all of us, no matter our background. Through this story, we see that truth is often revealed not by argument, but by love, and that God's wisdom still guides people, his people, when they seek him with humble hearts. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed today's short lesson. Again, I apologize for the internet problems at the beginning. I still don't know what was wrong, but nothing I did worked. So thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, let me remind you that the YouTube channel is there on the screen. You can take a look at all of the lessons. We have one more in this series, and then we're going to begin looking at unnamed women in the New Testament. Thank you so very, very much for being a part of our Bible study today. I want to thank each of you for listening. God bless you.